Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to IdeaDiary. Thanks for coming back, y'all, and hanging out. And I appreciate you if you're listening to the audio version of this on iTunes or Spotify, or if you're listening to the video version of this on YouTube, wherever you're coming from. How's it going? Okay, so I have the analytics for July, August. So I guess I'm going to just remind everyone, this is my first time having a podcast. I am not promoting this podcast in any way whatsoever. I'm not putting it on my social media. I'm just trying to see what can happen from scratch, kind of starting at zero without... I'm trying to make the podcast good, but I'm not trying to market it in any sort of way because I'm working on how good I can talk to the camera, talking to the microphone, just what can I do all by myself. And it's not going to be the greatest thing in the whole world right from the get-go. So here I am. All right. In July, I got 207 views on YouTube and 16 hours of watch time and 3,660 impressions. So impressions, I guess somebody searched for something and my video and thumbnail came up in their feed. And for podcast plays, I had 100 podcast plays, and 70% of those were from iTunes and 14% from Spotify. And I'm predicting in 2021, Spotify is going to take over the world possibly because of the Joe Rogan show going exclusive to it. I'm betting that Spotify views or listens, grows. So that is what happened in July. I thought it was pretty good coming from nothing to actually having someone paid attention. And that wasn't all me, like double checking the video or double checking the sound. I definitely didn't do that 207 times. So I feel pretty good. And that was a video a day. I'm trying to hit 15 minutes, basically. And I might have missed 1 or 2 days, but I pretty much think I hit every day in July. In August, I missed a couple days for travel. So my August analytics is 239 views for YouTube, which is not very much of a bump, but a tiny bump. I had 15.4 minutes of watch time, so a little dip in the watch time. But I had 5,600 impressions. So the impressions thing is what's getting me to think that having a YouTube channel is similar to paying for ads. I know it's depending on what your product is. It might not be as worth buying ads, might just save you some time. But if you don't have money for ads, 5,000 impressions is pretty amazing for 15 minutes a day. And it takes me about an hour tops to produce the 15-minute show, edit it out, upload it, and be done with it. So, and I can definitely do it in less time than an hour if I wanted to, but, it's about an hour. My podcast plays in August was 260. That went from 100 plays in July to August being 260 plays. So, almost triple. And it was about the same percentages between iTunes and Spotify. I think that's pretty amazing for not trying and just showing up and practicing. And I've committed to definitely a year of doing this every day as much as possible. So if I only have 300 shows instead of 365, I'm fine with that. But the goal is to do it every day. I feel like it's doable. I feel like it's easy. I feel like it's valuable. I feel like definitely it's one of those things that if you want things to change, you've got to do something different. You got to put yourself in weird situations. So that is what I'm doing here. And thank you to everybody that did listen in July and August. One of the things I'm struggling with is repeating stuff, because I feel like a lot of shows repeat stuff, the same thing over and over again, and it's sort of fine. As long as they're adding extra things, which I'm trying to do. And, it's just, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting braver talking into the microphone. I still don't know how interesting it is or valuable, but I'm definitely trying, and I think we'll see in a year where I get. I am trying to wrap up one book, and it's like a music publishing book, and trying to wrap up that so that I can start the Artist Way. So I'm really excited to start the Artist Way. The reason why I like business in general. I love business. But the reason why I'm so interested in music business stuff and music business and music marketing is because that was my passion for back in the day when I had a job. So when I was going to school and then going to college and then getting internships and then getting a job, I wanted to work at a record label, and that's pretty much all I wanted. And before the record label, I worked at Blockbuster Music. I know that sounds crazy, in the 90s. And I worked for Warehouse Music. And I worked there in Austin, and I worked there when I lived in LA. I don't remember. I think it was Burbank store, maybe. But I worked at a couple stores. It was a Burbank store. But yeah, so my passion, I guess, if I had to have a job, I wanted to be Xanadu. I wanted to roller skate and make album covers in Los Angeles and just make records. And I did that. But when I quit working at a company, I didn't quit because my job sucked and I didn't want a boss. I quit because I felt like I needed to learn how to have an income without a paycheck. And just for some reason, I knew that I needed to learn that. And I felt like the work that I did when I was working for a company was super excellent. It was really great. And I felt like, okay, if I can do that working at a company, I can do that for myself. And I can make my own projects. And you can make your own projects all on your own. However, there's some sort of energy, I feel like, when you're working for a company that already has a bunch of money and a bunch of employees. This energy builds that somehow makes projects kind of make money out the gate. Not every project, but definitely some projects, some that were even bad, would just make money. And, I saw that happen. So I haven't had a successful project doing stuff on my own just yet, but it's kind of what I do. I'm a product developer, and I like building products and trying different things. And when you kind of don't have a choice in the matter, where, some people, if they didn't have a successful thing for a very long time, they would give up. But for me and a lot of other people, it's really not a choice. There's people that are in bands that have never had any success whatsoever, except having some good albums and stuff. And you just kind of don't give up until it's time, and there's people with novels that are fully written and they're wonderful, and they're released and they just haven't made it yet. There's obviously tons of artists that nobody's ever heard of, and you just keep making art because it's inside you. There's a lot of independent movie makers that you'll never hear of them, and somehow they make money. But money isn't everything. Sometimes just you want the success part of people actually loving whatever you're making. I don't really get down on myself because I think I sort of realize that since 2007, July 2nd, when that was the last time I had a job, I've been doing whatever I want to do every day, and I've just figured it out. And there was times when I made more money than I could ever imagine, and there was times that I made, scraping by. But I definitely always, the trick is, I believe, is to get your expenses as low as humanly possible. I had roommates until I got married, and I didn't, and I loved it. I guess I'm a roommate person. Not everyone is. I guess I learned from the Golden Girls that it just doesn't matter how old you are, that if you just like having roommates and like living with somebody, then there's nothing wrong with that. But it is one of those things that gets your expenses super low. I know Gary Vee talks about this all the time. Just rent a couch and just go and make money and do your dream. And, he's into the hustle every day. I guess I'm into that, but I've kind of switched it up. I'm trying to go with the flow a little bit more. I feel like I spend a lot of times swimming upstream and fighting for my ideas and what I wanted. And I feel like if I would have done things just a little bit differently, gone with the flow more instead of expecting things to work out in some certain way, I think I could be a lot farther along in my journey, in my business journey. However, I'm really excited about the projects I have coming out this year. And honestly, I'm debating if I should even release anything in 2020 or if I should just slot everything for my favorite time to release something is January, because I feel like even though you miss that Christmas hustle and bustle, I feel like January, your product is like fresh and new all year long. And when you release something, especially in the fourth quarter, just to hit that Christmas sale stuff, I feel like it right after New Year's Eve, it like fizzles out. And I could be wrong about, that's not a rule for every single thing every single time. However, I just feel like if you start in January, it's new and fresh, bright and shiny, and you have all year long to prepare for that Christmas time sale momentum. So I just think January is my favorite time to release a new anything. So I'm debating, because I've definitely, with the apocalypse stuff, it kind of threw me off track, but then it like threw me onto this other track that I feel like is a little bit better. So I don't know, maybe I changed dimensions or timelines or something. I'm in a really freaky timeline. I think we all can agree what in the world is happening and what's coming up next. We'll see. I am packing my house up in case I have to move fast, because the house is on the market, and I'm hoping to, get something new. I'm a city person, so I've never really cared about nature and stuff like that, but I'm going to find some place to live with some lakes, some hiking, some picnic areas. I don't know what to do, but I am, excited to go shopping if our place does sell, and just getting everything staged, officially going on the market tomorrow morning. So we'll see what happens, and I'll definitely keep you posted with the details, and appreciate any good vibes, selling house vibes that you can send my way. And I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.